Hey, how are you doing? I'm Trish Causey. Thank you so much for joining me here on my YouTube channel. Doing a little bit different things today. This is an impromptu, so I know it's going to take a few minutes for people to get notifications that I am here and doing a live show. I just did a live Q&A in my OnlyFans account, and it just got me inspired to do one here so you can kind of see what I do over there in OnlyFans. So I have a bunch of questions. Hey, and by the way, I greatly appreciate your comments that y'all leave during the live shows, and then your comments afterwards on my YouTube videos. I really appreciate that. I definitely appreciate the new subscribes. Up is a different algorithm than the viewers and than like the viewer hours and then the subscriptions. Like they have all these different algorithms. Hey, Mike, how are you? Speaking of foreskin, never here yet, but I was on my OnlyFans account. So the reason I started my OnlyFans account was because I am getting more and more issues with Facebook and with Instagram. Any intactivist can tell you that our posts just wind up getting deleted or go missing. Hey, Robbie, because foreskin is not a topic that they really want on Facebook and Instagram. Tumblr went through its very recent morality police scanning and kicking a lot of us off. I lost a lot of posts on my account on Tumblr. I have two accounts. One of them was mine, and then one my name, and then the other my aroused woman. Anyway, so I started my OnlyFans account simply so that I could have a platform where I could talk about sex education, healthy sex, sacred sex, and foreskin. My favorite topic besides pizza and chocolate and brownies and all that. So, hey, John, good to see you. Okay, so, oh, Rob, honey, I am past that. You're beginning to? I'm past it. Yeah. So, okay. So, yeah, so this is just wanting to do, just kind of give you an idea. I just did a live in my OnlyFans. And so I have a few questions that were asked over there that I'm going to answer here. And I would love to see your questions here. And so why am I doing this? This is because I get in trouble here on YouTube with my videos. I don't know if you look through my playlist that says Sex and Relationships with Trish Causey, that playlist, you see how few videos are in there? That's because people report my videos on sex, and they report it, and YouTube blocks my video from being in public view, and then I have to appeal. Now, a lot of times I win, but sometimes I don't. And so this is another reason I've started an account over at BitChute. I don't know if y'all have heard of that, but that's why, yeah, I know it's not fair. In fact, I lost monetization for my YouTube channel over my video. It's about an hour and a half long, and I did it in 2018. And it's about, I think, the timing and how do I masturbate? Because that's like one of the top questions men ask me is how I masturbate. And so I did a video on that, answering those questions. And YouTube wanted me to take that video down. I think I have it private right now because I didn't want to lose the video. And because it was a live video, so I don't have it on my computer. It's only on YouTube. And then on top of that, I lost monetization because they said that their advertisers might not want my video, might not want their ad on my video. And I'm like, I'm sure they want their ad. How fucking violent is that? How much violent sex was in all the years of Game of Thrones, right? Anyway. So I just saw Brianna. Let me see that. Hey, DJ. I was wondering, if notifications went out. OnlyFans is sometimes okay with notifications and sometimes it isn't. So I wasn't sure. So, but babe, it's there. Just go ahead. It's there. The live is there on OnlyFans. So let's see, Brianna. Let me see that again. Let's see. My boyfriend and I are saving ourselves for marriage. Why? So instead, we play with ourselves together every other day next to each other. So then what is the difference? What is the difference? What is the difference? Saving yourself for a marriage. Honey, let me tell you, the whole idea of marriage is a sociocultural, socioeconomic contract where a woman is a piece of property whose ownership passes from her father to her new husband. That's why the bride is walked down the aisle and and who gives this woman to this man? And the father says, I do. That goes back to the old days where the whole idea of the public ceremony, the public wedding, was because there had to be a public declaration of the woman's ownership changing from her family to her new family. And I see that your father is a pastor. He's always drummed it into your head. Well, please use your own head for thinking. I love you. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just that I was forced to be raised Catholic. So I know how damaging religion can be, but you are a divine feminine. You are here to be beautiful and share your love and light with the world. And the age of the Piscean age, we're now in the Aquarian age, this time frame of patriarchal control of women's bodies is fucking over. Got it? Over. Control your body. Not your father, who's the pastor, not religion, not the Bible. Nobody controls your body but you, okay? So we have both been raised strongly in the church. Well, time to go. You're time to leave the church because, okay, if you choose to be Christian, like you believe that Jesus is your savior or whatever, that's your business. But Jesus said that wherever two is not a building, the church is not a dogma. That's fucking religion. And look at my video, not right now because we're here, but I have a video I did several years ago called the difference, spirituality versus religion and the difference between the two. I highly suggest, Brianna, that you look at that. And please, again, see, this is why I'm not a therapist. Well, I'm not a therapist for many reasons, but but I just want you to know that this is not me at you. It's me coming at this system that shames women and our bodies, and the system that does not women in control of our bodies. So I'm not going to get onto the other topics that fall into that. I don't know how old you are, but well, honey, you're in the right place. Let me tell you. Hey, DJ, I saw that. Thank you. So if we have saved one vagina tonight, this live stream was worth it. Woohoo! So, okay. So when you understand that you are in your full power of your body, your world is going to open up. When you understand that your sexual energy is your life force energy, it's called Kundalini, or actually Kundalini. Kundalini. That is the life force. Is your life force energy? Is your sexual energy? It is what animates you. It's what gives you light. Have you ever seen people who aren't getting sex and they're miserable about it? Don't be like that, okay? I'm not with anyone right now. I have chosen a path of celibacy. There's only one person that I will be with. And when he's ready for that again, I'll be there. But as a tantrika, several years ago, I started a path called brahmacharya, which is sacred celibacy. But I chose that. I wanted that. And you are being shamed into denying yourself the absolute beauty that your body is designed to experience and to give you. You are designed for pleasure. That's why these external forces, religion, government, society, media, culture, control all of you. They want to control your every experience and your every emotion. You know, we see over not pretty enough, not thin enough, not tall enough to get a nose job, breast implants, lipo, whatever. You don't have to true and right for you. Okay. So I don't mean to belabor this, but you seem like a young female, and I just want you to know that you are beautiful. Your body is designed for pleasure, and these external forces, these external people, places, things, situations, events, stimulations, and trauma that are trying to control you, they got to hit the curb. They got to go. The divine feminine is here. We are anchored here. Yeah. No. You're 8. Good. Now, look, I'm not pushing you into having sex, okay? But just know that your body is amazing and beautiful. Your body is designed for pleasure. And that if you want to have sex, it is your right to do so, especially legally, once you're, 18 or in 21, depending on your area, okay? And because you're young, I do advise, of course, taking all kinds of precautions in terms of definitely use a condom. There are other forms of preventing a pregnancy like IUD. Then there's the plan B that you could take afterwards if a condom breaks or whatever. So that's another show. But, oh, Brianna, I'm so glad you found this. And you may want to go back and listen to this again if you are called to do so. I would never rush into it, but I will not consider it on my own terms. Your entire life is on your own terms. Here's the thing that I teach people as an intactivist, because parents think that they can circumcise their boys because they think they own their child, right? And that's like, well, it's my child. It's like, your child is not a piece of property. I'm not a piece of property. Your boy is not a piece of property. You don't own your child as the parent. As the parent, your legal positioning is that you are the legal guide and guardian. You are the legal caretaker of this little person who is defenseless and can't help himself. However, he is a free, autonomous human being and will have the ability to make decisions for himself. That's why we don't do elective cosmetic surgical procedures on children. We don't have your average 8-year-old doesn't go get a nose job or butt implants, right? Because we want them to be able to make those kinds of crazy decisions for themselves when they have true autonomy over their person. So as a parent, you not own the child. And so, Brianna, I mentioned that to you because as a young female, I want you to understand that your father and his religious perspective has no control over you, your body, your sexual pleasure, you being sexual or not. And you can choose to be sexual by yourself. You don't have to, as some people, some people demonize masturbation. Masturbation is wonderful. Especially if you've ever experienced any sexual trauma, masturbation can be very healing to allow you to heal trauma. And I know I'm bouncing around. Y'all know I'm a Libra, right? This is what I do. Okay. All right. So it seems like I lost a few viewers in that. I'm sorry, but this was important. And I know that my true friends and fans will understand. I had to talk to Brianna for just an extra few minutes, especially all you intact men, because I saw y'all. Brianna's gonna maybe have children one day, and we want to make sure, right? So Um, oh, Brianna, good. You know, look through my videos here on YouTube. I have an entire blog with lots of information, especially about the vagina, the female prostate, the G-spot, and female ejaculation and all of that. I also have a program if you want to learn more about your body and orgasm and sexuality and that kind of thing. Once you're 18, of course. So yeah. Anyway, all right. So, yay! And Brianna, the thing is, Brianna, that you're open to this information because on some level you knew. I mean, like you've known this whole time that there was just something not quite right about your father controlling your, very good. Okay, so on to the other questions. And again, some of these I already answered in my OnlyFans live, but again, I want to show you what I'm doing at OnlyFans. But at the same time, yeah, the narrow-mindedness is pretty suffocating, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I went to Catholic schools. Boy, do I know. Anyway, okay. But I don't even know if the OnlyFans live went through. I didn't see it posted. It may just be processing. But anyway, so, okay. So a question I get from a lot of men is, do I prefer uncircumcised men or circumcised men? And I don't like answering this question. Number one, because it's placing the entire value of a man just on his penis. And that's what society has done that has rendered masculinity and manhood down with the manhood, if you know what I mean. And so I have said many times I will never have sex with a circumcised man ever again, but that's because sex with circumcised men has always been painful for me. I have a small vagina and I'm a natural ejaculator. That means I get very, very wet, I just ejaculate. And with circumcised men, because they're circumcised, they need the friction. They prefer dry sex. And, like with a former partner, I won't say he's my ex-husband, I'll just leave it at that, former partner. Like we would be in the middle of sex and he would just pull out and say, I can't feel anything. And he'd take the sheet and he would like rub the sheet all over me to dry me off and then dry him off. And he'd ram right back in. And it would be painful. And so he needed dry sex. Well, because the sex was painful, I didn't look forward to sex. So I didn't get wet because I wasn't looking forward to sex. So when we had sex, it hurt, but I was dry, so he felt good. So I will not have sex with a circumcised man for that reason alone. However, I am very mindful that most circumcised men, especially here never again. Most circumcised men here in the United States were circumcised when they were a day old, a couple days old. Of course, Jewish families, if they circumcise, it's at 8 days. Muslims circumcise at 6 years. Filipinos circumcise at 10 to 12 years old, which is a heinous barbaric tradition. I don't know if you've ever seen that, where it takes, 3 grown men, the father, the uncles, or older brothers, holding down the boy while they cut off, that very important part of his penis. It's like, if you need grown men to hold down a child for something that a procedure he doesn't actually need, there's something really fucking wrong with that. Anyway, so I just try to be mindful, though, that most circumcised men in this country did not choose that for themselves. There are a lot of cultures that actually circumcise for various reasons, and it's usually religious. But I think Turkey does have a high Muslim population. I'll have to double check that. But anyway. So all of that being said, no, I will never have sex with a circumcised man. But intact is definitely the way to go. You definitely want to, if you find an intact man, Brianna, definitely have sex with him. If you want to try foreskin, I can only highly recommend foreskin. It is so delicious to nibble and suck on and tug on and pull on, and to run your tongue underneath the foreskin and on his glands, and then just, pull on it with your lips. Yeah. Whew, good times. Anyway, so in that regard, in terms of the feeling of sex, I absolutely prefer intact. What was I going to say? Sorry, I lost my train of thought thinking about the intact sex. Okay, I'll think of it at 3 a.m. I can't remember it now, but anyway, it is illegal in this country, into effect in 1997. But in 2013, Obama signed an executive order that made it illegal to transport American girls out of the United States to go to another country for female circumcision procedures. But that's still really hard to prove if and when that happens. To know ahead of time when a mother who's maybe one generation immigrant or an immigrant herself, and she's taking her daughter back to the old country to have female genital mutilation done. But there was that recent, maybe a year or 2 years ago now, that I think it was Detroit, where the female circumcision was going on, and the judge that ruled over that case said that banning female genital mutilation is a violation of religious rights. And I'm like, well, the girl has freedom of religion. Nobody's talking about the boys and the girls that have freedom from religion, freedom from their parents' religion. See, religion sucks. Religion is so fucking damaging. Religion is violent in so many ways, and not just on a damn battlefield. Anyway, yes, I do prefer intact. Duh. So anyway, okay. All right. The next question I get: will you rate my penis? Guys, just stop it already, okay? I am not here to give you validation about your own penis. I love the intact penis. I think it's beautiful. I think all penises are beautiful. It's just that, yes, visually, the intact penis looks better because it's not full of scar tissue and keratinized tissue over the neck and the sulcus and the glands. The intact penis is moist and juicy and bigger. A circumcised penis is smaller. Circumcised penises would be smaller if they didn't have the skin being 1/3 to 1/2 of the penis being scar tissue. So I know that intact men want me to rate their penis because they finally have, and they tell me this, it's so good to talk to a woman who understands foreskin, who understands what it's like for a man to be uncircumcised. I don't like that term. So I understand that they need validation. But the thing is that anytime you are looking for validation outside of yourself, you are not in your power. If you really want love, you have to start with self-love. If you really want acceptance, it starts with self-acceptance. Self-worth, self-image, all of this, your body image, all of this, self-worth, self-love, self-esteem, all of this self-acceptance, all of this notice starts with self. So you don't need me to validate your penis for you. What you might want is sessions with me so we can work through the reasons why you don't love your body. As a grown man, why don't you love your body? I do a lot of coaching, and I do a lot of work with men. In fact, all my clients right now are men. Or in the past 2 years, I've only had male clients. because of my work with the penis. And they call me the penis guru, which I like. I think I'm going to start putting that on my website, the penis guru. But, if you feel that you need that much help, then you can contact me for a session. I am still doing sessions in the month of August. I'm not quite ready to release some of my big packages. Got to go, but this was such a great, inspiring stream. Yay, that I happened to come across. I'm so happy that I did. Thank you, and see you. Everyone, take care. Yes. And feel free, Brianna, feel free to leave a comment later if you have more questions, okay? And again, I do sessions and I have programs and courses once you're 18. All right. Bye, Brianna. So will I rate your penis? No. If you need validation, then that's something that you need to work through. Not need to. You have free will. It would be really great if you worked through those issues of bullying or rejection or self-doubt because you've been influenced by porn, where most of the men are cut, or you just again experienced the bullying and rejection. And gay intact men get rejected by circumcised men. So it's not just women who seem to not like the intact penis. It's, circumcised men don't like the intact penis. So anyway, so will I rate your penis? No. Let's see. What do you think of a man dating someone who is much older? As a cougar, I love it. I think it's great. There is a lot that a man can learn from dating a woman who is older. So let me break this down because, a guy when he's 18, he's still pretty much a boy. Like he still has a lot of boy qualities to him. The age of 21 to about 25, 26, he's still a guy. He's not yet a man. Not yet a man in the way I think of what a man is and what a man should be. So I'm really sorry if any of y'all are watching this and you're guys and you're like 23, 24, and you're like, what do you mean I'm not a man? Well, what I mean is that a man has a level of knowledge, experience, but also just the sensibilities of masculinity and manhood and what those mean. And yes, a certain amount of independence, especially financial independence, but it's also the mentality. Guys who are like 21 to 25 are still very self-oriented. I don't want to say self-centered, but very self-oriented. And it's their life. I mean, they're living their lives, right? They're finding out who they are. So it totally makes sense that they would be self-oriented, self-absorbed, arrogant. Anyway, so the problem that I see, though, with men in that age range when they date younger women is that young women, because these are not true women either, right? Not women as in a fully realized woman. They're a young woman. But this is the process, right? This is the getting older and learning and having life experiences process. But girls who are 18 to 21 still have a lot of daddy issues. They have a lot of princess issues because we live in Disney princess culture. And so there's a lot of immaturity in that regard. Because at 18, let's say they go to college, right? And they're living away from home for the first time. So they like that freedom of being away from the strictures of family and a lot of what we were just talking about with Brianna. But at the same time, the young female, the young girl, 18, 19, 20, in a lot of ways is still looking for that strong male archetype, but the only strong male archetype she might know is her father. So then she kind of thinks that her boyfriend will assume some of that, and that's not his job at that point. And so you have these young guys who are still figuring out who they are, still in that wild and freedom and rebellion kind of phase, which, I think there should always be some of that, right? But it isn't until a man gets to be about 29, 30 years old that he really starts looking at his life and saying, well, who am I really? Who do I, looking at the next 30, 40 years of his life, starting to think about his legacy, marriage, family, all of that, settling down. Of course, not every man does that. Some men only want the career. They just go for, being successful. They want a certain amount of money. They want to live a certain lifestyle. They want a certain status, or they want a certain title. I'm using some generalizations here, so don't get offended if I'm, if you're like, well, that's not me. Okay. So I say all of that to say that when a younger man, let's say 21 to 26, 27, dates an older woman, he can only benefit, because the older woman who's, let's say, 35 to 45, even 50 or older, she's not going to put up with a lot of his bullshit. Because what's going to happen with him is he's going to have to deal with mommy issues. Like, I'm not your mama, honey. And so, in dealing with a woman who is solid in her femininity and will not put up with bullshit and will not put up with childish behavior, a hallmark quality of a wonderful man is a man who still retains childlike qualities. But there's a difference between being childlike and being childish. Okay. I don't see any comments, so I lost everyone on that. But, so a younger man is going to learn a lot about life and love, and he will definitely learn a lot about sex by dating an older woman. So, what do you think about public intimacy? So what I think about public intimacy is that it should be appropriate for the time and the place and the people who are around. So if you are at a public park and you are wanting to get all hot and bothered, but there are families around, there are children around, I don't think that's appropriate. And, I don't want to overstep onto your free will, but I do think that part of our free will is taking responsibility for what we do. And there are just some things that are appropriate, and then there are some things that are inappropriate, especially when there are children around. Now, if you are in a club and you're 21 and you're with a consenting partner or whatever, and everybody's having sex on the tables and you want to too, well, go for it. Because the time and the place and the age of consent and everyone's consenting and all of that, why not, if you want to. So I think it depends on the time and the place. I used to, question. But what I think of public intimacy, but I mean, like hugging and kissing, absolutely. Should you be deep throating each other while you're standing in line at the post office? Probably not. But, I can tell you that, like, when a man has his hand down a woman's, back pocket of her jeans, or pants or slacks or anymore. I haven't worn jeans in so long. I tend to stick to yoga pants and boho skirts at this point. I can't get a fat ass in a pair of jeans. That's just the damn truth. So anyway, I just, if he's got his hands down the woman's pocket, I don't see that's a problem. He's getting a good feel, but it's actually his hands in her pocket. It can't go anywhere, right? But when a man puts his arm around a woman's shoulders, but it's in a way that it's like controlling, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That's not intimacy. That's not affection. PDA, public displays of affection. That's a guy trying to claim the woman as his property. So it can be very fine a fine line, as it were. So just be mindful of the time and the place and who's around. Okay. And of course, make sure everybody's consenting. Yeah. Okay. So what's the most intimate moment you can recall in public? Well, I do love being intimate. And for me, being intimate is sexual as well as sensual. And so, I would, if I would be with a like in the grocery store or the post office or, just somewhere out at the mall or whatever. I hate the mall. I don't go to malls. Anyway, it's hard to describe or to do, do it here, but I would kind of turn around and just put my shoulder around and I would reach down and I would just stroke his penis and balls while we're standing looking at something, mindful of cameras and that kind of thing. But I love to do that, but not, some men don't like that because they don't want to be or kicked out or arrested, but yeah, I used to love to do that because I love the penis, I love the balls. But in terms of the most intimate moment I can recall in public, I was once in a long distance relationship. And so I would drive to see him every week. And on his days off, we would spend one day where we would go up to Memphis. And when on the drive to Memphis, I would give him a blowjob while he's driving, like 70 miles an hour, or higher up than a car, right? So while I'm giving him head while he's driving 70 miles an hour, when the semis would come by, the truckers would honk the horns like, toot, toot. And, there's a cop down there. Don't do that. But yeah, I used to love to do that because when he would almost lose control, almost come to climax, he was afraid of climaxing because he didn't want to lose control of the vehicle. So there was this, are we going to like run off the road? And it was a kind of, I guess, a little bit of danger in that as well as doing this in a very public way and then being seen. So some of it was exhibitionist, some of it was just dangerous, and some of it was, well, just stupid. I don't recommend it. Although I do look forward to doing it again sometime, I must say. But yeah, that's probably the most intimate moment that I can recall in public. So the next question, this is the last question. Unless y'all have any more questions, I haven't seen anything come across in the comments. I hope the chat is still working. Okay. Do you prefer giving oral or receiving oral? That is a question that's a little I've never actually been with a man who likes giving cunnilingus, or I've never been with a man who is actually good at it. So my personal experience with receiving cunnilingus is that with previous partners, when I tried to speak up and tell them, hey, why don't you do this? Or, hey, why don't you do that? It was like, well, what are you trying to tell me what to do? It's my clit, so yeah. They got very defensive. And one of them even said, it makes it sound like you don't like anything I'm doing. I didn't say I don't like anything you're doing. It's just that if you do, this is the way my clit likes to feel good. And I'm trying to be very gentle. But yeah, it got very defensive, well, I don't like when you tell me what to do. Well, it's my body. So yeah, I've never been with a man who was actually any good at cunnilingus. I've never been with a man who really, really, really liked it. Like, I've never been with a man who liked having his face between my legs. My vagina is amazing. And she's delicious. All of her different fluids. Every kind of vaginal fluid I have has a different flavor to it. I love it. And one partner said he didn't like the way I smelled in the morning, that my scent was too strong. And I'm like, well, then you're too weak. So sometimes it's just not going to work out. And unfortunately, I have not found, I know why. But that's a whole other video. But I do hope to experience proper cunnilingus one day. Of course, I can give great cunnilingus. But that's because I know anatomy, and I think the woman's bodies are beautiful. But in terms of do I prefer giving or receiving, I love oral sex. I love giving oral sex. I cannot tell you how much I love having a man's penis in my mouth. And it's just, I'm just good at it. So with the giving oral, I have actually some sexual fetish foods that I eat when I really want to give head. But I'm not going to just go randomly find a person. I'm not going to go randomly find a man just to give head. But my sexual fetish foods are pot stickers, dim sum, mandu, anything that's medium ball shaped. I want that in my mouth. I just want my mouth stuffed. I want my mouth full. And I think that actually part of my eating disorder is tied to some of that. Not all, but some of it. And so yesterday was National Hot Dog Day, and I don't eat hot dogs, but it was just funny. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to go get a hot dog. And so I went to go get a hot dog, and but because I was eating it with a fork, it's like something's missing here. And so I wasn't satisfied on some level, and I just didn't know what to do after, because I recognized it for what it was. I recognized that what I'm wanting is sexual fetish foods that fulfill sexual fetish or sexual needs. And so I just finally went to Taco Bell and got a big 7-layer burrito. And as soon as I felt that in my mouth, I was like, oh, yes, this is what I was wanting. This is what I was needing. I just needed my mouth full. But anyway, so I love giving. I love giving head. I love fellatio. I love everything about it. I love it from not just the I just love having penis in my mouth. There's just no other way to say it. I mean, I love it. I do like the control. I do like I love making a man squirm. And better yet, I love it when a man pike jackknifes up off the bed because of what I'm doing to him. I do love that. So yeah, I really can't say anything else right now. I need to keep some of this information to myself. So anyway, those are all the questions that I have prepared. These are the questions that came in, again, over my OnlyFans account, and you can find me there, onlyfans.com/Trish Causey. And so I hope this has turned out to be informative. I hope this video has been useful. I am seeing nothing in the chat, so I don't even know if this video is actually going. So if anyone can say something in the chat, I would appreciate it. Or you all ran away. But I've noticed this on YouTube Live where the chat just will cut out. So, okay, I don't see anything. But I see people. I mean, it's giving me a number of people who are watching. So anyway, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and just cut this short. That's not a foreskin joke. We like foreskin exactly the way it is. All right. I had some great questions about foreskin in the past couple of days, and I may do another foreskin Q&A because that seemed to have been very popular. I have lots of courses that you can partake in. I am starting a new course in August. It's called 21 Days to Better Bliss. And you can find out information about that on my website. I will put links below. And I'm actually giving a special for 21 days in Awesome Together, my Awesome program. Awesome stands for Awakening Energy and Sound Orgasm Meditation. And so I'm doing a quick special on those. And thank you for the thumbs up. Okay, so somebody's there. Well, it says I have people watching, but I don't know if the chat's still working or not. So I hope so. Anyway, so I have a special with my 21 Days Awesome program together. It is severely reduced because I want people to be able to partake of this right now because I know financially things are difficult. So normally my Awesome program is $22.22 just by itself, but this is way lower than that, and it's combining. I'm using the thank you for the other thumbs up. I appreciate that. The 21 days, I'm using that. It's like a prep course to get you ready for the Awesome program. So if you are interested in that, that's again, it's at a very discounted rate right now, and it's a twofer. You're going to get my 21 Days to Better Bliss and my Awesome program. And the Awesome program is a self-paced 22 modules, video modules that you do in your own time, and then you get 4 sessions with me. And sessions with me will change your life, and that's just the truth. So. All right, I love y'all. Mwah. Y'all take care. Thank you so much for joining me here, and I will see y'all again. And thank you so much for tuning in on an impromptu night. All right, y'all take care. And remember, only love is real. I will see y'all soon. Bye.